Well. First thing I'm gonna say is a few simple words before we really get into the full review. Let me just close my door. You guys all know who I am. I am Jack Heptic. You guys have all known this for actually quite a while. Welcome to another video. This is my spoilers review of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I just got back from the theater as of recording this. I'm gonna say 3 words. Worth every penny. Actually 6, worth every minute as well. It was worth it. I'm gonna say this as a long fan, pretty much since I was young. Loved this franchise. This movie outshot every single expectation I actually had for it. There were some things that I didn't understand in the movie, but I'm gonna try to piece it together. I'm having some memory issues trying to get it all back in my head in front of my brain, but I'm gonna try to explain as much as I can for your guys' enjoyment, and so that way you guys can know what I thought of each and every single thing. I am getting Discord notifications. Alrighty, let's get started with my full review of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is the story. We're going to discuss what are the best parts of the story, what did I love about the story, and was the story fluented, together, or was it a jumbled up mess? Okay, so I'm going to start with, the structure. I loved the story. I thought the story was worth it. In fact, I thought the story outshot my expectations. I did think the story was going to have a huge flaw. Now, there wasn't really a big flaw I noticed. An hour and 50 minutes felt like a lot longer. But, like I said, worth every minute, worth every penny. Now, the story starts with the guy, Mike Smith, as he is struggling to find jobs. He had just gotten fired as I'm guessing a mall security guard after beating up a guy that he thought was kidnapping a child right in front of him in the little fountain. Now, in that first part, there was the rainbow character from FNAF World, so a reference. But yeah, he got fired. And the guy we meet, that was his career counselor, is Steve Raglan. I'll explain who that is later. But Matthew Lillard in this movie, oh boy. And we'll get to the characters and describing how the actors did later on, but let's continue. So he's struggling to find jobs, and first Steve Raglan's going, what is your problem, why do you keep doing things, or whatever, and Mike's like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. Well, then Steve says, I have a job, it's a security gig. Place is pretty big in the 80s, pretty well known, really popular with the kids. The owner just doesn't want to get rid of it. You just gotta work nights. Practically, that's what it was. Mike originally was like, nah, and he was going, if I don't do this, I'm gonna lose my sister, aka Abby. So he takes the job. First night, pretty simple. He slept the whole time, and he had a dream about his brother, and about how his brother was kidnapped. And then he saw 5 kids. One with a brown shirt, one with a yellow shirt, like a bib kind of thing, like yellow and white. And then you saw one kind of in the back that was orange. You saw one with bunny ears and one with a top hat. And you also saw one with a hook, sorry. There's also that's the orange one, I'm pretty sure, was the one with the hook. So he chased them. He ended up getting cut on the second night of it. But the first time he didn't know what it was. He was confused, they all ran off, he was like, what? Woke up, 6 a.m. Goes back home, whatever. Still has a problem with Abby. Couldn't understand. Then he goes to the second night, and that's when he ends up meeting Vanessa. Her being in this movie, I couldn't understand how they're gonna make that make sense, but they did. Somehow they did. So, Basically what happened was she was a police officer that was kind of in her district. She kind of needed to like be there every once in a while. And she discussed with him going, have you met them yet? Ooh, the animatronics. Foxy, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy. Discussed these 4 robots. Pretty cool. That was the really cool thing. One thing that couldn't be understood is why. Like, why would she take the time to do that or whatever? But, hey. After he ended up having a wound he thought it was only in his sleep that she said, you're bleeding. And he had a cut on his arm that he didn't think was actually there. We then eventually pretty much get to night 3. Practically night 3. He has Abby with him. He thought, well, he tried to clean up the place because there was robbers that day after night 2, which all of them were dead. All of them were killed. One thing that I was shocked they actually did is the lady, aka I was quite certain was actually his girlfriend, or something like it, Max, gets pulled by a hand in Freddy and then gets cut in half. The front half of her body gets eaten. The heck? I didn't think that was going to be in the movie. PG-13? Didn't think that was going to happen. But it did. It did. But that happened. So Vanessa comes talk to him. He says that his brother's been missing and all that. And he's been taking sleeping medicine, stuff like that. And she threw it in the water. It's like, after the 3rd night, and that whole thing happened, and then he had Abby with him, brought her, he tried to clean up the place after the mess, and then he heard her screaming eventually, and he thought she was dying, but no, it was just the robots being funny, having fun with her. And what ended up happening is, well, he ended up getting to meet him. And then, well, they left. He was really confused and thought it was fake. And then we move on to night 4. And this is where the story actually starts to get pretty good. And we finally learn why this is all piecing together. One big plot point in this 4th night was pretty big. So Vanessa's there too. Was there before him. So those 3 were there. Vanessa, Abby, and Mike. They created basically a box fort with tables and chairs, and then Mike and Vanessa go to find a blanket, and he finds this little like robotic thing and almost puts his hand on it, and then she grabs a broom and shoves it in there and it chops it up. Now she says it's called spring locks. Didn't think that was going to be in this movie either originally, but so that was in there. But there's that. Continuing the explanation of the story, another really big plot point in night 4 is that basically at the end of the night, Vanessa tells Mike this: you bring Abby here again, I will shoot you. Sounds pretty dangerous, huh? So night 5, he gets his aunt, the one who's been trying to get full custody of the kid because Mike's a terrible, terrible guardian. Crazy. It's understandable at the very beginning why, but she's a complete brat and douche about it, so it's like, why is that such a big deal? But he ends up getting her to watch her. And she assumes that he is giving her away, and she goes, I hate you. Well, he goes back to his job that night, and he gets the dream again, and the thing they were wanting was Abby, and he ends up accidentally saying yes, because he wants his brother. But then he starts to reverse it, and in his dream, all the little kids start scratching him up. Then he wakes up and he's about to get eaten by the what I think most people are calling the remnant thing. It's like a robot. It's basically what their idea of stuffing into a suit in this movie is they're just calling it people are calling it the remnant extractor. Practically is what they're calling it. I did not go with the first part of the night, but that's not really a big deal. So, continuing. As we continue the explanation, we get to where he wakes up, and Vanessa is taking care of him or whatever because he got really injured. And then she ends up saying too much and revealing that she knew about his brother. Practically. And revealed that she's in fact William Afton's daughter. What? Plot twist. Out the roof. But that was what was the crazy part. And that continues, while his aunt is at the house watching Abby, Golden Freddy shows up and kills his aunt. Interesting. But his aunt is dead, and then apparently Abby doesn't think anything of it, and Abby and Golden Freddy get a taxi with Corey Kenshin and head to Freddy's. That was funny. There's a couple other references I didn't get to actually really talk about, but there was those. Now, then they get to the place, and she's dancing, talking, whatever with them, and then eventually they're going to show her back area. Michael's back. Mike is back there, going to try to save her, so he has electrical stuff to shock her from Vanessa. Now, eventually, he gets the first two down, with Bonnie and Freddy, gets him kind of knocked out for the moment. Then he gets down to where Chica is, and Chica was about to shove Abby into the spring-locked suit we saw from earlier. And when we continue, we get to where finally Springtrap, aka William Afton, aka Spring Bonnie, all of that, shows up on the scene. First, this is the part I can remember the most. Our favorite Michael thought that he could shock it. Well, it didn't work. Didn't have robots, but didn't work on that one. What practically happened is he almost ended up getting stabbed and died. Almost got stabbed and would have been killed by Purple Guy. But it didn't end up happening because luckily Abby, Vanessa, distracted him. Vanessa says, "You touch him, gun." That's crazy. It's like when you don't have you don't have the balls to shoot the gun, except she did, and she shot it. And then, practically, he goes over there and messes with her, get mad. He eventually stabs her. Effectively, we think she dies. She didn't, but, Mike's up, Abby on him, and then Abby draws the drawings of the golden guy killing them. And the robots see him, and then they end up attacking him. Chica throws her cupcake at him, bites some of the suit off, and the spring lock's effective. The effective scene from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. In the first movie, that's crazy. Honestly, I did not think that was going to be in the movie, and it was. So, that shocked me. So, effectively, he died, and you saw, like, the twitching and stuff around the end when they're dragging him, the robots are dragging him with them. And Mike, Vanessa, and Abby are getting out of the building. And then the movie continues a little bit longer after that. We eventually see like a later scene of William, effectively like what we've heard about spring locks, not being able to do anything except be there. He can't move, he can't speak, he can't see, he can't hear, he can't smell, he can't breathe. He's just there. He might still be able to breathe because he got new punctures that can help him breathe, but it's not the original throat. And as it continues, we effectively get what we presume is how he becomes Springtrap in the movie. And there's a later scene where, and this was the funny thing in the whole entire movie, the Balloon Boy thing was really funny. And it was, honestly, the amount of times the Balloon Boy showed up as the jump scare was I actually got scared a few times. The very one at the end credits, practically in the middle of the credits, Corey Kenshin in the taxi, Balloon Boy getting in the taxi, he's like, oh my goodness, there's a Balloon Boy in my car. He doesn't say that, but it's funny. He just gets scared. But that's the story. Overall, the story, I think, was really good. I think it pieced together with an end result that we got hints to at the beginning, but didn't know exactly what was going to happen at the end. That's the story. Okay, so now we're on our next section, and that was the acting. First, we can start with the obvious one. Matthew Lillard, William Afton, Steve Leahy, whatever. Perfection. Good. Raggy? No, he's not Shaggy. That's the funny thing, is it's like, I kept every little bit like going, it's Raggy? As like, I've seen the memes, I know the memes, I know it's funny, but he's William Afton now. That's what he's gonna be known as. William Afton, not Shaggy, William Afton. I thought his acting, especially with the spring locks, was pretty good, and him muttering the iconic line, I always come back. Thought that was good, and being the career counselor was pretty good. I thought he was good, honestly. I thought Hutcherson, I forgot his first name, was really good as Mike. I thought that was great. Whoever played Abby was good. Some of the other characters were pretty good. Corey was pretty good. Vanessa's actor was really good. I thought definitely Vanessa being William Afton's daughter in this movie was a bit of a weird twist. I wonder how they're going to piece it together in the next two. There's no doubt, after this successful movie, they're going to do a trilogy. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Like, even if this movie doesn't do crazily well, they're going to do it. Just think about it. There's no way they won't. So there were some other minor things in it that, honestly, I was shocked they had it. First, the whole break-in, all those characters, pretty good. It was there to break in, and then they all died. Like I said, Max getting bit in half by Freddy Fazbear was funny. I did not expect that in a PG-13 movie, and they did it. They had some gore, not like a lot, but they had some, and that was the shocking part. Foxy's run. He did the run 3 different kills, and that was, well, almost 3 kills. He got 2 kills. That was crazy. His kill counter was crazy. Freddy's kill counter was pretty crazy. I think he honestly only got 1 in the movie. They all technically killed Springtrap. Effectively, he killed himself. Freaky, you killed yourself. Yeah, so he killed himself. Another couple things is the 2 major Easter eggs I saw in the movie. Matt Pat, oh my word. I did not think he was gonna be in the movie. So, I think it's around, like, right before Night 2.
Some people say that, but, you know, it's just a theory.
Or our fellow guy. We have the villain, Max, the lawyer that seems to not want anything to do with this, and then I'm guessing Max's boyfriend, like, in the actual movie, that's what I'm actually guessing it is at that point. All discussing what to do, because apparently she was undercover. And so, Matt Pat, Sparky's is his place. Matt Pat comes over and says, hello, welcome to Sparky's, what'd you like to eat? And then the aunt screamed her head off, basically saying, we're not eating here! He goes, and I think this is what he said. I know he said the iconic, that's just a theory. But I thought he said, if you think you can just sit down and not eat here, that's just a theory. I thought he said that. I could be close. I know he said, it's just a theory. I know he said that. And I was like, that's Matt Pat. No question, that's Matt Pat. And then Corey's 2 scenes was really good. It would have been funny if I did not see anything extensive with, like, 8-Bit Ryan, Dalko. I don't know if I even saw the clip. I wasn't trying to analyze it. When it comes on DVD, I can actually analyze the actual movie itself. Slow range. Also, the eye thing, I will say this. The orange eyes worked. It worked. The only part of the eyes I didn't like was the red with Foxy at the very end. I think his eyes should have just been, like, orange. Like the rest. But I think it worked for the most part. Thought it was overwhelmingly alright. Foxy's running, I think they should have shown his feet running, but I understand what the limitations of it. They had the vents, that was cool, but practically all the acting was really, really good. I loved it. Alrighty, so this is the big thing, the final conclusion. What are the best stuff? First, I thought their depiction of the spring lock scene was almost perfection. I loved it. I loved it. I think it was a little weird. It wasn't very gory, but you got to see the spring locks actually kind of like go in his stomach, and that was cool. They tried to do that. I thought that was cool. How the animatronics like drag him with them, and you see the twitching like that. It's a good twist. I did think that Vanessa being William Afton's daughter was probably going to be like they were going to have some big twist with why Vanessa's in this movie. Because what is she in the game? A security officer at the Mega Pizza Plex. Correction, by the sound of it, the only one. Weird. I haven't actually gotten through all the lore security breach myself. It's really confusing. Haven't been able to piece it together, but hey, who should I know? But this movie, I loved it. Critics, I will say this, critics are very, very, very wrong. Already review bombed this. They review bombed the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I think a couple other really good movies they review bombed. The fans love, but they hate it. Why? Because they don't understand the factor. Fan service. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie is fan service. That's what it's supposed to be. It's for the fans. It's not for the critics, it's for the fans. Super Mario. For the fans, not the critics. See, critics don't get it. And I think once they finally get it, they won't exist. I don't think the critics are going to be very much a big deal very much longer. Because I think eventually, especially the movies that are doing the video game stuff, they're going to start saying, critics, we're not letting you see the movie. At least not for free. That's probably what's going to start happening. Because, like, if you're just going to criticize and hate our movie for no absolute reason, how about you pay and go watch it? I think that's what's going to start happening. But I give the movie, my final rating, a 9.5 out of 10. It was worth every penny, every minute in that theater. Opening night, close to a packed theater. It was worth every minute. The audience reactions were pretty good. A lot of things shocked them. I didn't get extensively spoiled before the movie came out, so I got a lot of, like, first minute, like, I didn't know this. Like I said, this movie was worth every minute. And you know what I want to know? I want to hear your guys' thoughts who have seen the movie. Put in the comments what you thought of this movie. Whether it was good, bad, what's your favorite scene, what's your favorite whatever. Make sure if you put spoilers, you put spoiler in your description about it and why that scene's the best. But I don't want people to just bluntly just see the comment and go, I'm already spoiled and I haven't seen the movie? Which they shouldn't be watching this video. It's a spoiler review. Duh. But this movie was really good. I loved it. I loved every minute. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys watching this to the end. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate it. This means a lot. Not like most teams tend to do that very often. There is more roleplays coming soon. Just there's only so much we can release right now. Gotten pretty busy, and a lot of my actors are going different days. Most of them are going opening night, some are going different days. So some of the recording's gonna get a bit jumbled up. First recording FNAF roleplays, we're getting close to the end of that. We only have like 3 seasons left, 2 or 3, and then we're done. The main story will be completed. We won't have to do very much about it. But like I said, I appreciate you guys watching to the very end. It does feel like it's been a lifetime waiting for this. It's been 8 years. We've been waiting way too many years for this movie. Way too many years. And thanks to finally somebody getting a hold of it, making the movie, BlumHouse If you're watching this video, which you won't be, good job. Scott Cawthon, good job. Matt, Pat, everybody in the movie, you all did a phenomenal job. Everybody involved in the cast and all of that, you guys did a phenomenal job. And I think the fan base is in love with you guys, that they are thankful. I am thankful. Coming from somebody who originally also thought this movie was never gonna happen, it's just honestly a rumor. It happened, and I loved it. Once again, thank you all for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next video.